Our team right now is what I would like to call locked in. Okay, there's a difference between, we're way past buy-in. If somebody's not bought in to what we're doing and bought into the work ethic, they may not know yet, especially in the case of the freshmen, I understand that. But we're way past trying to convince somebody to buy into what we're trying to do. Now it's all about the players running the program in the sense of, this is how we do it, this is how we work, this is how we go to class, this is the time that we put in, this is how we treat people, this is how we compete. That's where we're at. And that locked-in mindset is the thing that we've got to continue to work for and build every day. Because these guys, they really are in uncharted waters right now. All right, a year ago, they're coming off tremendous losses. There's nobody talking about what they're going to do next. There's nobody talking about preseason this, preseason that. And they went to work. The only thing that rivaled it in my mind is what we had in year 3 and year 4 at Marquette. And in the sense of something that I could match up with work ethic-wise, where everybody was out there trying to make everybody better. Okay, it wasn't this guy's doing this and these 3 are over here and they don't ever see each other and they cross like, you know, and we see each other in the hallway, hey, how you doing? No, no, together. Together. They were going through the extra work, putting each other through things together. It wasn't what we were requiring. It was what they were requiring of each other. And lo and behold, more and more guys started to work at a very high pace. And then that's when the confidence comes. And you've got to get some wins, a Kentucky win. And who watched that on the Big Ten Network last night? Anybody see that last night? Now, can you imagine? That was so great. Now, I'm still mad because we didn't win by 15 or 20, because I think it's 7.5. I mean, I couldn't get over being mad. Everybody asked, what were you thinking at the end of the game? I was thinking about how mad I was that we almost blew a 10-point lead. But everybody else was having a great time, so I was good with that. But they had to go through hard things to get to wins like that. They had to go up to Evansville and win. They had to go to NC State and be down 7 with 7.5 minutes to go and find a way to win the game. Because success breeds success. And it's really not the other way around where, well, you know what, we'll work hard after we win. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. You've got to work extremely hard, keep pushing, driving, grinding, and then all of a sudden here it comes. And then you've got to build forward, and that's what our team did last year. And I'll start with the seniors. The seniors had gone through so many things inside of the program that the last thing left for them to do was to win. They had playing at Indiana for a couple of years was the easiest thing those kids did at Indiana. Getting on the court was the easiest thing because we just didn't have competition. We didn't have enough players, and every time we made a little bit of a jump, like year 2, year 3, then an injury would come in, and then another injury would come in. So we dealt with all that. But these guys, they understood that now, okay, I may have to sacrifice and give up some of what I did, but we've got a chance to win. And our 5 seniors did an excellent job of that. And everyone graduated, okay? One of them graduated early in Matt Roth, got his master's this past May. Tom Pritchard graduated in December. The other 3, Verdell, Jones, Corey Barnett, and Daniel Moore, graduated on time. We graduated anywhere between a 2.8 and a 3.4, okay? That's pretty good. You know, that's really good. And I'll tell you the power of Indiana. Daniel Moore, all right, did more as a freshman, obviously, than he got to do as a senior. All right, but he starts a new job on Friday with Eli Lilly out of state in Springfield, Missouri. Great example. That's the power of Indiana. That's the power of Indiana. That's the power of coming in, working hard, doing your job, being well raised, doing the things that matter, and then that opportunity came, he pounced on it, he's ready to go. There's going to be a lot of those success stories coming out of the program as years go on, because we're trying to do our very best to make sure we stay true to the athleticism, the intelligence, and the character as we move forward. The senior class takes a backseat to no one in that, the ones that we have now. Jordan Halls and Derek Elston both walked across the stage in 3-year graduates this past May. That's a big deal. That's a big deal. Jordan is getting better all the time. We want him to become as good as there is in the pick and roll. He's become a multi-dimensional scorer. He can read screens. He can come off either way. But in this day and age, you've got to be able to score off the dribble as well as you could score off the screens. And we think certainly with the guy that could make the biggest jump of getting open shots with the emergence of some of our veterans and bringing in a guy like Yogi would be Jordan Hulls. But we can't bank on that. He's got to be able to score a lot of different ways. He's got to be able to manufacture points not only for himself but for his teammates. And he's getting better. He's getting stronger. Derek Elston, the best thing he can do is be healthy. We saw an idea of what it looks like last year. He was healthy for the most part. It's not been easy for him in that sense. But outside of this slanted, sloped haircut that he's wearing right now, you remember when Will Shehee shaved his head? This haircut might be 5 times worse. I'm telling you. You won't see it because he won't be public with it when we play games, but it's kind of sloped. But other than that, he's doing a good job. All right? He's doing a really good job. We need him to make open shots. We need him to be a factor rebounding the ball, and we need him to hold his own defensively. Christian Watford, he needed to be shut down a little bit in May with some injuries. He played most of the year injured. He played most of the year injured. And I don't think there'd be anybody that would disagree that this was his best year because he improved the most. He was a 32% three-point shooter as a freshman. This year he was a 44% three-point shooter and was hovering in the high 40s to low 50s for a lot of the year. I mean, this guy's getting better. He's getting better. If he'd have wanted to be drafted this year, he could have left early. He would like to be a first-round pick, and I would certainly like to see him be one too. Added strength, the ability to guard numerous people. There were probably 2 things that really made a difference for us at the end of the year before I go back on to the rest of the team. Victor Oladipo's emergence of being able to make decisions and plays inside the ball screen, and Christian Watford's ability to guard smaller people on the court. And if you think back to the Michigan State game when he was guarding Keith Appling and guarding Lewis Jackson in the Purdue games, we make a switch in the second half of the VCU game, put him on the point guard there. He guarded Teague some and negated some of that quickness. I wish I'd have been smart enough to do it in the first game. We might have won that game by 20 instead of letting Teague get to the rim. But we were smart enough to do it more in the second half of the season, and Christian really emerged with that. Well, for him to take those next steps for us and for him, he's got to be able to do that on basically anybody we put him on. He's got to continue to have go-to moves at the rim. He's got to be a very, very proficient three-point shooter. And he's got to understand that the better that he can pass the ball off the move, the more marketable he's going to be, the better we're going to be. Because there's really nobody on our team, all right, that requires us to stand around and watch them play. Okay? And when you've got a guy like Cody that you can go at and go through, and he can move the ball the way that he moves, well, then there's no room for anybody to stand and hold the ball. We've got to be a ball movement team. We got a lot better at that last year because we had a lot more players and we had a lot more guys that could make shots. Christian's emergence was a big deal. Maurice Creek is the one that you just haven't had a chance to see it. You saw it in that Kentucky game 3 years ago when he had 31 points in that first year when he was a freshman. You saw it in some other flashes. But when you think about the fact that he had 3 surgeries in 22 months that were major, 2 knees and an Achilles. This past Friday was the first day that he's done anything live, and it was 3-on-3. Now, he's done some shooting and things, but actually where there was a defender, and I wasn't standing there like a nervous parent like I was when our kids got on the school bus the first day they ever went, you know, biting my teeth, being so nervous for what could happen next. Because he's like we've been through so much. It's just amazing what you go through with these guys, and you worry so much about what's next. Well, he needed to step out there and play. And it was really good for him. He's got a lot to do with his body. He's got a lot to do with his game. I always worry about injury with him. That's just the way it is. But he's starting to make progress. So this is going to be a big, big summer for what he does. Our junior class, I tell our guys all the time, I said, it's this simple. It's hard, but it's simple. Let's find a Cody Zeller here and there, wherever we can, which is a little bit easier said than done. All right? But let's keep recruiting people like Will and Victor. Have those 2 guys epitomized what you think Indiana basketball should look like? Have they? Yeah, me too. I can't liken Will's haircut to any former Hoosier I remember. But the way they play, the way they act, the way they treat people, the work ethic. A buddy of mine the other day was moving his son out, and this is true, okay? Come on, you didn't buy the greeting cards. You kept waiting for me to mention it was Calipari at the store, and I wasn't going to do that. Okay, we're done with that. We're done with that. Buddy of mine is moving his son out, and he sees Will walking either Walnut or College, one of those streets right there, and he's got his backpack on, and it's Friday morning, and it's 7 a.m. And he rolls down and says, Will, where are you going? He said, I'm going to cook to get some shots up before class. He's got class at 8 o'clock. He's been in there as early. Now, we're not out there with them on this, but these are the stories that you want to hear. Okay, we can be out there with them for 2 hours a week, but when you hear you got guys coming in at 7 o'clock in the morning, or you got guys coming in at 6 o'clock in the morning, you got guys coming in to shoot late at night, that's pretty good. Okay, I don't need to hear about what they're doing and all that. I know they're in there, and that you sleep a lot better. Okay, when you know you've got a team of guys that are really, really working at it, and that's their ideas. That's why those guys are really, really special. Victor Oladipo just pulled off a 3.6 GPA. He's got a 3.2 overall. He will graduate in 3 years. Okay, he will graduate next May. Will Shehee is right around the 3-point area. He's in legal studies. He's in the SPIA school, and he is a 3.5-year grad. And those two guys are getting better all the time. They are two of our most improved players, and we've got a lot of guys making a jump for that right now in this early part. But Will and Victor take a backseat to no one in that area. And then you get into the sophomore class. And I'm going to start with somebody that lives closer here than Washington, Indiana. I mean, I'm not as good in math either. I know Bloomington to Indianapolis is about an hour, not 2 hours. But Remy Abel is doing a fantastic job for us right now. He's a high-level athlete. He came in with the strongest lower body on the team. He still leads the team in leg press. He went home for about 3-4 weeks, and about 3 or 4 of them went home for a couple of weeks because I don't make them go to both sessions of summer school. I want them all there this time of year and in July. But he came back and his body looked even better than it did when he left. And that's not easy because we've got a big-time strength and conditioning coach in Janae Jackson. But he went home and he worked. He worked with his old coaches, especially Joe Rogers. Anybody here know Joe? Thank Joe for what he's doing because that guy, I've known him for a long, long time, and he was his assistant coach, and he did a fantastic job with him while he was home. You can just see it. He's doing an excellent job academically. He's a joy to have, and I think he's just scratching the surface on what he's going to mean to Indiana. Austin Etherington is working to get better. As I've said to others, first couple of years, Austin to be a starter in the teams that we had. And right now it's hard. It's hard to find minutes. It's hard to take a step because the program is really growing. But he's got to continue to work. He's got to work at a very high pace. And if those things happen, then he's got a chance. The other guy, what's his name? Okay? That guy who's got the highest selling jersey right now, I think, in the state since Peyton Manning moved. All right? That guy that's a force of nature. I mean, he gets better all the time. He was 236 pounds the other day. His vertical keeps going up. He's got a great work ethic. It's easy to brag on him because it doesn't matter to him. There's nothing that's going to derail him for being better. Okay, he got 1 A- in high school. Think about it. Okay, I'd like to be that teacher. Okay, 1 A-. He's carrying almost a 3.6 right now. He will graduate, and there's nothing I can do about it. Don Fisher always says, slow it down. Good luck trying to slow Cody Zeller down. He's going to graduate in 2.5 years. He started with 22 credit hours when he started at Indiana. I would say what I said about when we were back at Marquette and we started to see how good Dwayne Wade was going to be. Enjoy him while he's here because he's a special guy. And I don't know how long he'll stay. I mean, that's not what's relevant. What's relevant is that he is with us. He makes this team better in so many ways. And again, you might have heard this before, read it, this bears repeating. In the BCS, there's 78 some odd schools, okay? Overall in Division I, there's 340 some odd schools. We were 162 in overall Division I in three-point shooting a year ago. We were in the 50s, I believe, in three-point shooting in the BCS. This past year, we jumped to 2 overall, number 1 in the BCS, and Cody didn't even take a 3. All right? He moved the ball at a high rate. He did a lot of really, really good things. He's getting better all the time. He's getting better all the time. And he's starting to develop because we're pushing him in so many areas to help bring that tremendous athleticism that he has out into the court so he can even do more on the perimeter so he becomes a harder matchup. I said to him the other day, if people are working to get ready for Indiana, they're probably trying to figure out how many different ways they can double team or stop him. And our job is to make sure that no matter what they come up with now, you're so far advanced by the time that comes that as soon as they figure out something else, you're way beyond that. That's the improvement level that he's got to have. So we're going to do some unique things with him next year to help him get to the post, to help him be on the perimeter, to get him to the foul line, to keep allowing him to be the playmaker that he is. But he is getting better all the time, as all of them are. Our freshmen, we've got 3 playing in the Indiana, Kentucky All-Star games right now. And that is Friday and Saturday. I think they're playing right now in Pendleton Heights, so I'll be anxious to hear about how that turned out. And a couple of them, the other two that aren't, Hunter Perea and Peter Jerkin, they're on campus right now. And all I know is when they measured him the other day, Hunter Perea's wingspan was a +9 and Peter Jerkin's was a +8.5. That's some long young men. Long young men. So there's no doubt that in the short couple times we've worked them out, they've changed the energy and the structure of the workouts. And it's fun to hear those guys talk about the games because I think the same thing is happening in there. And the other guys will be there soon, and we're looking forward to all of that. It's an exciting time. It's an exciting time for a lot of reasons. It's not an exciting time because this person ranked us this and that person ranked us that. It is exciting to build on the 27 wins, but as I told my team, if we'd have got 3 more stops inside of those 9 losses, we'd have had 30 wins. Okay, and at the same time, if we'd have got 3 less stops and those 27 wins, we'd have had 20 wins. This game comes down to how much better are we going to be. How committed are we to defense? How committed are we to not only individual defense, but team defense? How good are we going to be at communicating? I was asked by the media earlier, has anyone emerged as a vocal leader? They really haven't from when I'm out there. But right now, I'm far more concerned about the collective leadership of the group right now and how they blend together and blend the new guys in to understand that the culture that we have worked and they have worked so hard to build can only go down if they're not locked into making it better every day. You don't ever stay the same. We can't have 7 or 8 guys working at a high level and 4 or 5 not, because that's going down. The old chain is only as strong as its weakest link has got to be a mantra for us on this team, because everybody has got to get better. Everybody. And so much of it is because they work hard. So much of it is because it's a great school. It's a fun place to recruit to. So much of it is because the atmosphere is outstanding. So much of it is because we're on television all the time, all those different things. But don't ever underestimate, because I don't. And anybody that comes into that program will never underestimate how important all of you are. How important everybody in Fort Wayne is. How important everybody in Indianapolis, Evansville, all the different cities throughout this state, the alumni base. Because this program is growing because you didn't leave it behind. You didn't step away. You didn't say, hey, you know what? I'll wait till they're good. This crowd has always epitomized what this program is all about. This crowd has always been full of energy, life, excitement, and tonight it's the greatest crowd that we've had in our 5 years of being there. That's no accident. We got the best fans in the country. We've got the best student section in the country. We've got the best place to recruit to, and Huber Farms is one of the greatest places you can come and talk to the fans because they get it. It's an honor to be your coach. Thanks for being here.